Hi there, everyone. I'm Michelle.
I'm Jim, and we are A Teague of Your Own.
Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated.
Woo!
Woo!
Yay! We're not in the kitchen.
Nope.
No, I don't like the lighting in here. Oh well. We got a bunch of recording to do today, so here we are in the uh, ground level of our
World headquarters.
world headquarters.
Yes.
That's it. Uh, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It's chilly.
Katie has moved out, and
She's now in Philadelphia with her grandmother.
she is. And thankfully, we do not have to go through that again.
No, never again. There will be no more. If she's ever in a position where she needs to move out of a place, she can call her friends or somebody else. I'm done with that.
Well, the funny thing is, she told us she had a friend who was coming over to help her, and we were just like, no.
No, that mysterious friend never showed up. So,
or if they do show up, they're going to look at this and say, no.
Because it was a mess.
Oh my gosh.
It was a disaster.
It was awful.
But we got it finished, and there's something to be said for sticking with the job until it's done. Now, we didn't really have a choice. We're on a deadline there, but believe me, there were a couple of points there where, especially one day, we were there and pretty much had the living room cleaned out.
Yeah.
And came back the next day, and it felt like her stuff had multiplied overnight. All of a sudden, there was all this stuff in the living room. I was ready to cry. I was seriously ready to just sit down and cry because I couldn't believe here's all this new stuff. It's like, where did this come from?
Her bedroom.
And it came from her bedroom, which was just stacked and piled high with stuff, apparently.
Yeah.
And it seemed like you'd get some spot in the apartment only had bedroom, little bathroom, and a living room kitchen combo. That was it.
Yeah.
And I swear it felt like the stuff was multiplying as we were taking it out.
However, it's done.
It's finally done.
Yay.
We got it cleaned out, and it looked pretty good when we left. So, we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Then this morning, we had the opportunity to go to the Mount Pleasant Business District Authority and do a workshop for them on social media do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
And I thought we could share a few of the things that we talked about here.
I suppose we can.
Yes, we can do that. It was fun. Very, very interactive.
Yeah.
The room full of people there, all women.
All women.
Room and business owners, and they had a lot to talk about when it came to social media. And Facebook, because I know you're listening, they did not have a whole lot of nice things to say about Facebook and the ease of using it.
Yeah.
So
Facebook does have its issues.
Facebook does have issues. Anyway, we talked a little bit about some of the things that you should do in social media and some of the things that you...
That's how you know it's live.
Because there's stuff going on in the background. And for once, it's not Molly who's going to be in there barking. Anyway, we talked a little bit about some of the things that you should do, some of the things that you shouldn't do when it comes to social media. And when it comes to what you should do, consistency. Consistency matters.
Consistency matters a lot.
So talk a little bit about being consistent.
Well, this is consistent right here.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We are now up to, didn't you say this is number
202?
202?
Yes.
So we've been doing this for 202 weeks.
Yes, we have.
That's consistent.
Yes.
That is very consistent. And the reason that consistency is important is because, your tribe, your people, your customers, whatever you want to call it, they want to know that you're engaged with them and doing that on a regular basis. It's one of those things that, and we see this where people, they'll do everything to get a social media presence and then they don't follow up with it.
Yeah.
And so that means, doing things like what she sets up for us every week is, we have posts going out 3 times a day, every day, every week. And it's not necessarily trying to sell people things all the time. It's just letting them know we're there, that we're there, we're available. We are ready to help whenever they need help. If they want to contact us and talk to us, we are, happy to have the discussions. And, and that's a key thing to it. Is you got to be consistent, because people got to know you're there. Also shows that you can be counted on.
Yes.
And so that's another big aspect of consistency.
In addition to being consistent, what is something else that people should do?
Pick the right platform for their demographic.
Yes.
Because there's some, like TikTok, that skews very young. Yeah. That's not necessarily going to be the best platform, even though, one of our friends and mentors, Paul Martinelli, he loves TikTok. He absolutely loves TikTok. We personally have avoided TikTok. And part of that is because I know there's ways to go into TikTok and you can go directly to your stuff, but I've pulled things up on TikTok and there are videos on there that
shouldn't see the light of day.
Yes. It's hard to make me uncomfortable, and there are videos on there that make me very uncomfortable. And I cannot imagine pulling that up in front of a client and it pulls up one of those first before I can get to my video or what I want to show them. So, or that, potential clients would accidentally pull up that stuff because it's a reflection of us, I think. And so we've purposely avoided TikTok. Plus, that's really not our audience. For us, we do a lot of B2B stuff. And so we need to talk to business owners.
Which is why,
or HR managers.
Which is why this is on LinkedIn.
Yes, that's been LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a good one for us because of the fact that, we do a lot of stuff with B2B, with training, and like I said, with HR managers, helping them solve some of their problems, particularly with developing their next generation of leaders and cutting down on their turnover.
Yes.
So, that's something that we can help pretty much any company with.
So that's a couple of things that people should do.
Yes.
Be consistent. And like you said, make sure you choose the right platform.
Right.
And there's tons of platforms out there.
Right.
You've got obviously Facebook, LinkedIn, you've got Instagram, you've got, X or Twitter, or whatever Pinterest. They want to call themselves now. Pinterest. Pinterest is huge. One of my friends, Tamira, she literally the only reason why she's on Facebook is because there's a couple of groups that she has to interact with to find out things. But the rest of the time she's on Pinterest and she makes a ton of money off of Pinterest. So there are lots of different platforms out there. You just need to make sure you find the right one for you and who it is that you're trying to connect with.
Right.
What are some of the don'ts?
I think a big don't that you brought up in the session was sharing too much of your personal life.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people who do that.
Yes.
And they shouldn't.
Yeah.
The reality is your business life and your home life need to be separate things. You really don't need to be crossing those things. And, people will quite often share entirely too much about what's going on in their own personal lives. Here's a clue for you. Most people don't care.
Yeah, well, and what I think is always interesting is they will share what's going on and then they'll complain about all the drama that's on social media.
And people don't want to hear that. That's not going to help you in your business.
Well, and it's not going to help you personally.
No, it's not going to help you personally either.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you're not careful, you have a lot of people telling you that, the problem is you. So, especially
you seem to be the common denominator.
Yeah, you seem to be the common denominator, and maybe the problem isn't everybody else. The problem is you, and that's exactly what you don't want. Plus there's some details of our lives. I'm always amazed at what people will share on Facebook, because there's so many things that I would just, not that we're doing anything horrible or anything, but there's just some aspects of our lives that I don't feel the need to share with everybody. I don't think it's any of their business. And yet there's some people, they just put it out there. Of course, I see celebrities do that, and celebrities, they get a lot of hits for it.
I think some people look at Facebook as a way to document their lives.
Maybe.
And maybe that's how they're approaching social media.
Yeah.
This is how it's their form of a diary or a journal where they can share what's going on.
Yeah.
And they're okay with the rest of the world now.
I guess I wasn't brought up that way. I've never really lived that way. I figure, if I want people to know stuff about me, usually it's going to be in a face-to-face environment, because usually there's a story, and I like telling stories.
Yes, you do.
But putting it on the internet. Plus, the other thing is, you tell somebody a face-to-face story, and they can come back and say, "Oh, you remember when you said such and such?" And if you didn't say that, you can say, "I didn't say that." If it's there on Facebook or any of these other social media platforms, it's there.
Yeah.
So the commercials with the let's go to the replay.
Yeah.
Well, it's right there. So once you put it out there, it's there. And so oversharing, I think that's a big one.
The other thing is people think that they can delete and remove things.
Yeah.
Once you put it out there, people will take screenshots of that.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, "Can you believe they did this?" Yeah. So that's one of the things that we talked about when it came to don'ts is don't overshare. What's another thing when it came to don'ts?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. You did the don'ts. What was the other don'ts?
This is sad because
you just did it. Yeah. This is sad.
How good is your memory?
Yeah.
I remember one of the don'ts was don't neglect your social media presence.
Yes.
So in other words, that
ties back to the being consistent.
Yeah, when you determined which of the platforms is going to be best for you, you set up the account, you went out there, you got the followers, you got the likes, you got the people and the contacts and everything, and then you do nothing. You can't do that. You have to, once you build up that social media presence, you have to keep it up. Meaning you need to comment on on other people's comments to you. If you have content that's going out there and people are making comments on it, which is exactly what you want, you need to go in there and you need to reply to them. You need to respond to them so that you can encourage more people. Jeff Henderson talked about this in his book 4.
Yep.
When he talks about people forget about the social part of social media.
Yeah.
They forget that you're supposed to socialize. There's supposed to be conversations going on throughout social media. And people forget about that. And they'll just put posts out there and that's it.
Right.
They won't bother to reply or respond to anyone. And you need more of that. You need more engagement.
Right.
The more engagements that you have on posts, the more people who are going to see those posts. Lots of you hear about the algorithms and how the algorithms are changing, blah, 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 blah. One of the things that will always help your posts are comments, shares, likes, all the different responses. The more that you have of that, the more times it's going to show up on people's feeds. And so you have to pay attention to what you have going on out there.
Right.
You can't just, set up these accounts and not do anything with them.
Right. I say also don't ignore your clients or your people, your tribe. Again, talking about the social part of social media, you're wanting to have dialogues going on. Well, a good way to do that is to, post something where you're asking a question.
Yes.
And, then you get responses from people. You get a dialogue going on. You get some conversations going on. Now, you have to be careful because they can go in the wrong direction. So you do have to be aware of that and try to stop that whenever it heads in that direction. But if you are, putting out questions that are broad enough, I give the example, and then also responding.
Mhm.
I give the example of something that happened to me that, now I understand this is what happens. But it was like one of the first times something like this happened to me. But I was on Facebook, and there was a post on there from, because I was on the Smithereens page, and Smithereens is a band from the 80s that I really liked. And the guitar player, Jim Babchick, was on there and posted a question, what was your first concert? And so I put the answer to mine. It was an all-day open-air festival over in Germany, and didn't think anything about it after that. And then a couple of days later, there was a response from Jim himself, and I was so excited. I know most people never even heard of Jim Babchick, but I was so excited. It was like, oh my gosh, Jim responded to me. How cool is this? And then I realized that's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. So I got very excited, and I was already a Smithereens fan for life anyway, but that's just really cool, because I've also met him face to face. I saw him in Pittsburgh, and so I've talked to him in person, but it was still cool.
Don't we have a drum?
Yep, got an autographed drum head, got an autographed T-shirt. That was before. That was all. Pat was still alive and fronting the band, and so that was quite a number of years ago.
Yeah. All right, so there's just a few of the do's and don'ts that we shared this morning. Very interactive group.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Lots of questions. Fun group. This was. We had a great time. And the Mount Pleasant Business District Authority, they host these workshops every month. It's the last Monday of the month. We're doing one for them again next month.
Yep.
An online influence.
Online influence. That's going to be a good one.
That is going to be a good one.
If you're in the area, not that the one that we did today wasn't good. It was good, but this one is different because it's an area that you're not going to hear a whole lot about, because it's all based on the work of Dr. Robert Cialdini. So we'll be talking about, Dr. Cialdini and his book Influence and the 7 Principles of Influence, how they relate to the increasing your influence in the online environment. So it's a unique slant on the whole take of social media influence. Going to be well worth your time and trouble to show up for that one, because you're going to hear stuff that you have not heard before, guaranteed.
Yeah, and those are live and in person.
Yeah, they're live and in person, so we are there
in downtown Mount Pleasant.
You're right there in the room with
us.
Booming
metropolis.
Yep.
Yes. So if you're interested in that, let us know. We will hook you up with Mount Pleasant Business District Authority and Daynell, and she will get you registered for that. Cool beans.
Yeah. So I'd like to have a bigger turnout next month than we had this past than for this one.
It would be lovely.
We had a good turnout today.
We did.
But
yeah.
Like I said, be worth your time and trouble to do it.
Definitely. All right, everybody. We will see you next week. We got a full week this week.
Oh my goodness. Had a full week last week and got a full week this week.
Good to be busy.
It is good to be busy. We asked for it, so here we are.
Yes.
We asked the universe to make us busy, and the universe said, okay.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
All right, everyone. If you need to get in contact with us, if you'd like us to come in and do a workshop for you, we've got lots of different topics that we can focus on, mostly leadership, communication, teamwork, influence, something around those.
Yeah.
How could they contact us if they?
Man, there's a number of ways they can contact us. They can go to our website, atigueofyourown.com.
There it is.
They can they can send us an email, info@atigueofyourown.com.
Yeah.
They can call us at our phone number, 412-420-7975. Yep, right there. And we'll actually pick up the phone and answer it, and we can have a conversation. I know we're actually talking to each other, which would be fun. It's a little weird these days, but it's fun. It's, give it a try. If you don't like doing that, send us a text. You can send us a text to the same number. So you can also find us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on Instagram and YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Please go there and subscribe. We would love that.
Please do. All right, everyone.
And like us here. Like us if you're on Facebook, like us wherever you're at. Like us. What?
Yes, like us.
Like us. Give us a like. Give us a like. Give us some hearts. Give us whatever.
See the little hearts going up.
Yeah, that's nice. What? What?
It is. All right, everyone. We will see you next week. Have a wonderful week. Bye.
Bye.